My sweet pop, George, died in 1992, the day my heart shattered for the first time. I was inconsolable, a real daddy's girl. Around 6 months later, one bitterly cold evening in February, I was beside myself with sadness, and so I decided to take a walk in the neighborhood I grew up in. As I was walking in the cold and snow, I was remembering one of my favorite times with my dad on a winter school evening. He quite unusually invited my brothers and I for a walk in the freshly falling snow to the reservoir, quite a long hike. We jumped at the rare invite, bundled up, and off we went on this great adventure. I don't know how old I was, but I remember Pop held my hand most of the way, and feeling his big hand wrapped around mine, it just delighted me. The sky was crystal clear. There was a full moon. And as we walked, I noticed it seemed to move in the sky. And as my dad loved astronomy, he explained it all to me as we walked. But what comforted me most was just the knowing he knew. The details are blurry, but the feeling is as crystal clear as the sky that night. I was most tenderly beloved. I then decided to walk in the direction of that precious night's walk with my dad, and as I was walking, the tears just flowed and my heart ached. The darkest moment of my life at that time, the farthest away from God I had ever felt. And as I turned the corner, the full moon appeared suddenly right in front of me and shook me awake. It stopped me dead in my tracks. It was just as I remembered the moon that night long ago. In that most painful moment, somewhere deep inside of me, the words, "I am with you. Your pop is with you now. Will always be with you. I love you. Your pop loves you. Your pop is with you now. Will always be with you." And you will be with him again. I didn't hear a voice. I can only describe it as a deep knowing, an experience of God, of love, of my Father's love and presence, of God's presence with me, my Father's closeness with me, and how they were all woven together, as was I. In the darkest moment of my life, love erupted, and in breaking of God, knitted us all together in that moment and forever. I just knew all of this with my whole being in one brief instant, and a huge weight was lifted from me. I felt relief, calm, comfort, and an intense curiosity, an intrigue of wanting, of needing to know more of this God who is with me, who loves me. I fell hook, line, and sinker. This moment changed me. It was a waking up to this God who is wildly crazy about me, and a longing for knowing God more and more ignited my soul. Since that time, I began searching for those who knew well about such things, and I began reading the mystics, St. Teresa, John of the Cross, and I came to discover the notion of falling in love with God, the God who falls deeply for us. I slowly became open to this presence as the love of my life, where I am taken by the hand and pointed to the moon's light and tenderly beheld by the God who walks me home. It took me a couple of years of listening, walking, longing, waiting to find where I was being led, which was to become a missionary. Well, it has been nearly 3 decades now, and one wild ride so far. And I sense, the best is still to come. I haven't had another moment quite like that one long ago, but I have discovered some of the ways God is winking at me, wooing me each and every day. A sunrise, a bird's song, a stranger's smile, children's laughter, a tender gesture. And when I allow myself to experience this God that ferociously loves me, it is then I begin to let go into that love and have learned a few of the 10,000 ways to wink at God right back. I return often to that first moment of falling in love. I remember how much I belong to God. What is the moment that comes to mind for you of experiencing God winking at you, wooing you, of sensing yourself in a God-drenched moment? Return to that moment often and get wildly creative in the 10,000 ways of winking back. Finally, truly, give to God what belongs to God.